Greetings! I'd like to introduce you to WiseMapping, a free online mind mapping tool. Mind mapping is like having a digital graphic organizer. It's a great way to organize your information. And with WiseMapping, it can be done individually or collaboratively if you choose to share editing rights. Mind maps can be used to prepare and present information or as a graphic way to take notes on a presentation. Let's start by going to the WiseMapping website. You will notice here at wisemapping.com that there are two sections. One is business and education. The purpose of that is for those in business and education that would like to download the WiseMapping software for use on their servers. That doesn't apply to us, so we're going to go to the individual side. On the individual side, you'll see these two buttons. Try it, no login, basically lets you try working with a mind map. We'll be able to do that anyway when we sign up for free, so we're going to click on that one. You'll get to the registration screen where it asks for your email, first and last name, a password, and text to prove that we're not robots. Then we click on register. And when we do that, we'll see the sign-in screen. You put in your email, password, and sign in. Once you sign in, you'll see a welcoming screen that has a type of mind map that is good for reference. I recommend leaving this as it is as a tool that you can come back to later when you are trying to develop your own mind maps and you want some ideas on ways that they've made it look attractive. It's also a good review. So let's look at the menu. Up here you will see welcome and your first name. My Wise Maps will take you to Wise Maps that you've created. This one that is already there, and this can also be where you go to create Wise Maps. In the ones that are already there, you can either edit them or present them. Next is a tutorial video. This is a good review of how to use WiseMapping if you'd like to look at that. And then there's this shortcuts link. If you click on that, it shows you a list of keyboard shortcuts that you can use while creating a Wise Map. You may want to check these out. Learning them will speed up the creation of your map. Most of these terms are familiar. However, there are two that I should explain. Create sibling topic is when you create a main idea to go with the topic of your mind map. Create child topic is where you create a subtopic to go with a main topic. To get rid of that, we'll just go back here, and next we'll go to My Wise Maps. When you open that up, once again, you can see what you've already created. This is the welcoming mind map. That's a good reference tool. This is one that I've worked on. The import button is for those who have mind mapping software on their computer. If they want to import something they've already created in that software, this is where to do it. That doesn't apply to us, so we're just going to go to the new button. When we click on that, this box comes up, and this is where you will need to type in a name for your new map. So for the purposes of our class, I'm going to put in Distance Learning Tools. And since I already have one with that name, I'm going to add a 2 to that. And then some description, if you'd like to explain further what this is about. And then click on Create. When you do that, you'll notice that the title of your mind map is the first thing that is showing. That's where we begin. This is referred to as a node, and you want to create main topics or other nodes that go with it. To do that, I'm just going to touch Enter, and I'm going to put in the name of one of the tools that we have learned about. Go back here. You can touch Enter again. You can also add a topic by clicking here in the menu. I will put YouTube as another tool, SlideShare, and Jing. We'll be doing 5, so one more, and that will be Prezi. Now you don't need to use these. You can choose whatever you would like to, but these are the ones that I'm choosing just for this demonstration. Now to add a subtopic, again, you select the node or the topic that you want to add a subtopic to, and then touch Tab. That gives you the subtopic. For each of our tools that we're going to be looking at, one subtopic will be an example, and another one will be an educational use. Now that you know how to set up those, I'm going to go to the example that I've worked on. This is my Distance Learning Tools mind map. And what I want to do is I want to show you how to use these tools in the menu. The first ones are pretty obvious. They're the typical things: save, print, undo and redo, zoom out and zoom in. Now the first one that is not familiar is this one right here. So you'll click on one of your nodes if you want to change the shape. The default shape of the node is just a line. So if I want to change that, I go here, and let's say I want to change that to this shape. So you'll see that now Prezi has this outline. If I want to change the color of the outline, I go here, and I can change it to that color. If I don't like that, I can take advantage of the undo. These two that I skipped, this one I've already referred to is adding a topic. You can click that to add a topic and click this one to get rid of it. Okay, now back to the nodes. If you want to change the background color, you go to this menu tool, click here, and change the background. Let's say I pick that one. Oh, that didn't look good, so I'll undo that. Keep the one that I have. But if you want to change background color, that's where to do it. The next thing is this tool here. So I chose the Jing tool or node and click here, and you can decide from this selection of icons to add to your topics. There is a limited choice, but they can dress up what you have. So if you want to choose one, you just click on it and it's added to your topic. The next tool is adding a node, and this comes in very valuable. I use this for the connections to education. So you click on the node and click on add note, and what happens is then you get a text box where you can add the note. Once it's added like it is here, you just scroll over it and it has information about how this particular tool can connect to education. Next is the adding the link tool. So I've done that for my other subtopic, and for instance I'm going to go to this one and I created this link. So I'm going to open the URL, and this links to Quizlet that I created. When we're done, I'm just going to exit out of that, exit out of this, and we're back to our mind map. The next tool I want to show you is this. This is a relationship tool. That's when you want to show that there's a relationship between two of the things in your mind map. In this case, I created a relationship between MindMeister and WiseMapping. MindMeister is another mind mapping tool. In fact, it's the one I was going to use for my presentation, but when I found out that there is a charge that goes along with that, it's pretty hard to avoid because when you sign up you have to put in your credit card information. So I decided it would be better to choose a tool that is completely free, and that's why I chose mind mapping. However, there is the relationship here so that if you want to check out this other mind mapping tool, you can. Next, in the menu, you can change font type, the size, you can make it bold or italic. Here you can change the color of the text. Once you have your mind map pretty much set up how you want to go to this button. This is the share button. And when you go to that, you decide who you will share your mind map with. One person that you will want to share it with is our instructor. So you put in his address, his email address. Once you've done that, you'll go here. And this is where you can decide whether you want that person to be able to just view your mind map, or you can have them be able to edit it. This is what you'd want to use if you're going to use the collaborative feature of your mind map. And then here is where you can add a message. And where you add a message here to our instructor, you would type in a way that you could use WiseMapping for your education, for teaching, training, however it might be applicable. So I'm going to cancel that because I'm not quite ready to do that. The next tool is Publish. If you click on Publish, your mind map is going to be published on the web. There is the warning here: by publishing it, you make it visible to everyone on the internet. So if you're not ready to do that, or you don't want to do that, you can just cancel out of that. Next is the Export feature. The Export feature shows some options for exporting the map that you've created. FreeMind is kind of software that can be used if you want to. If you have that and you want to export, you can export to WiseMapping, which puts it in a document form. There's SVG and PNG, JPEG, basically sending a picture of your WISE map. You can turn it into a PDF, plain text, or you can export it into Excel. So those are all the options if you want to export what you create. The next tool is history. Now this one is not going to be showing up or not going to be workable until you have saved your mind map. But once you have, you click on that and it shows all the times that I have been working on this. You can view what it looked like, let's say 2 hours ago. Okay, this is what it looked like. Well, I think I'm going to go back a little bit further because there were some errors that I was struggling with. So that shows what it looks like then, and I'm just going to exit out of that. You can also revert to that. If you click on revert, everything that you've done since then is going to be wiped out. So you'll want to be careful with that. But if there's some things that came up that you added and you find out later that you don't want to add it, history is a good place to go to get back to the mind map that you were happiest with. I'm going to cancel out of that. Okay, now that you've seen how to create your mind map, I'm going to talk a little bit about some ways it can be used in education. A teacher can graphically scaffold their presentation of information in a lesson with a WiseMapping mind map. Students can use a mind map to organize information in a presentation, a website, or reading that they're studying. A mind map is a great way for students to organize information they're going to write about. Similarly, WiseMapping can be used by students to make a story map that summarizes information for something like an assigned book report. A mind map can graphically organize information to guide the writing or presentation of an informational report or research topic. So start thinking about ways you can use mind maps for study or teaching and training. Thanks for your participation.